Beautiful. All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for jumping on Monday the 20th of January 2020. Now, I would like to firstly thank David and Irene Miller for jumping on this evening. And from the bottom of Rachel's heart, she has sent her love and said how grateful that she is. Since the beginning, she's always dreamed of having you guys on a call, and she just reached out and asked if it was possible, and it just so happens to be the evening that she's flying to Arizona. But being the leaders that we are in the team, we said we can make it work, Rach. It's all good. So we're so grateful that you've jumped on this evening. So thank you. I just wanted to do a little introduction. I listened to Irene Miller speak at Celebration this year, and that was phenomenal. But David and Irene Miller live in Perth, and they've been married, correct me if I'm wrong, for 16 years now?
17, yeah.
Yep, 17.
17, beautiful. They have 5 children and 11 beautiful grandchildren. So that is a busy household. If they are not in Tuscany, Italy, living in their dream house, they are down at the beach, or you will find this beautiful couple at home surrounded by their children and their grandchildren. But life wasn't always like this.
We seem to have lost Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah's frozen.
She has, by the looks of it. Look, Irene and David, I am not up to speed with your story, but I have, I would love for you to be able to take over from the call right now and grace us with all the wisdom that you have so that we can, once Sarah comes back onto the call, I'm sure she'll be able to give you a bit more of a welcome.
No, that's not important anyway, because I'm sure, you guys have been around for a while, but it's all about you guys tonight. And Rachel gave us a few things to touch on. One is our story, and if it's okay, we'll get into that. A lot of you have heard this story, but there might be some new people on the call tonight that haven't heard our story. So we go back now 12 years. We've been with Isagenix on the 11th of the 11th last year. It ticked over 12 years. And we got involved with Isagenix, like a lot of you, was purely for the product. And the astounding thing was that we were so close to, I was so close to network marketing that had the person who introduced us to the product spoke to us about the business side of things, I think I would have bolted out the front door, run across the park, and no one would have seen me, because that was the mindset I had. And basically it's because, look, let's face it, I didn't know enough about it, but it was what people were always saying about network marketing. So we were always always owned small businesses, and we were busy, running business. We had business partners, we had staff, we had overheads, until we got to a point that we just thought, we just don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to run a team of adults that were like running a preschool for adults and people who didn't turn up on Monday mornings and stuff like that. We didn't want to have business partners. We didn't want to have the massive overheads we had, because our generation of people, it's like that if you've got a business, you're doing well. This is what the perception is, we invested heavily with this home to buy this business, and it was a fantastic business, but we didn't realize that the people who owned the company were not good business people. And we got to a point, so we ran this business from home because we want to cut all the overheads, we didn't want to have staff, etc. And we took this business from home and we were running it together. We were doing everything together and whatever. And it was a fantastic business. And our suppliers, who are Queensland-based, could not really keep up with the demand of what we were generating. So long story short, it was like, it got to a point they said, look, we need another investment of $60,000 to bring this tool back from China so the product could be made totally in Australia. I kept on saying to them, why do they want our money? You know, we only didn't have much in the bank anyway, but why do they want our money? The bank will give them to them. It's a fantastic business. So hummed and hard, and we thought, look, let's give them that last 60,000. It'll help us turn over the stock. Then we'll make our money back really quickly, and we'll get on with it. So that's exactly what we did. Dave, being the incredible businessman that he is, whenever we had a phone call with these people, he would then follow it up with an email to say, okay, this is what was said, and if ever anything default, we could take the company over, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's what he did. So what happened was, after Christmas, it was soon after Christmas, about 2 weeks in, we received a 2-minute phone call from the owners, and it just went, just to let you know that tomorrow we're going into receivership. Don't call us again, deal with our lawyers. And they hung up. So in that 2-minute call, we lost $500,000. But it wasn't just the $500,000 that we had borrowed off our house. We'd lost the value of the company, which we'd built it up to being quite valuable. We lost our income. That was our superannuation. That was everything. And it was all gone, just like that. And that day is what we call the darkest day and brightest day of our life. Because had that not happened, we would not be here today. But going back to that day, it was like we were in different parts of the house, and suddenly I could see it was dark outside, and all we had that a person who reached out to us from the US had sent us an A4 piece of paper that he had faxed to us to showing how the compensation plan worked. And that night I said to Dave, I said, could this work? And he said, I don't know. But we had nothing to lose. We had no plan B. So all we knew that people in the US using the same system had flipped their life around. So if they had done it, all we knew was we could do it. And that's exactly what we did. The very next day, we decided, Dave went out to get a sales job just to get something on the table. And I just went out and literally spoke to anyone with a pulse, just that would listen to me, keeping in mind that I knew nothing about the products, keeping in mind that I was a very, very timid person, but I just felt it didn't matter, because if they turned away and walked away from me, I'd never see them again anyway. So it was my way of just practicing and practicing on people until the right one came along. So that's how we started, and we just followed what successful people were doing. We just looked at everything because Australia hadn't officially opened when we started. Our product came from Hong Kong. So we just knew whatever the Americans were doing, we were doing. They said the importance of events. Okay, flat brokers we were. The next event was in Las Vegas. Las Vegas. So we booked our tickets to go to Las Vegas. The credit card was about to explode. So we did that. We realized the importance of authorship. So we did that. We went to the events. So we timed it to go to our niece's wedding in England and made our way to Las Vegas. You know, and that too had challenges. Understand that this business, because the end result is so massive, that you are going to meet challenges. Because if it's easy like that, why isn't everyone an Isagenix millionaire? Right? But if you make out and you put it out there to the universe what you want, you're going to be challenged. You're going to be stretched. You're going to learn lessons about people that you would never, ever, ever have imagined. You're going to learn lessons about your best friends and your family like you would never, ever, ever have imagined. But the whole idea of it is that you don't quit if it's important to you. You go through them. And once again, what happens to the universe, once the universe realizes that you're going nowhere, that you're a stayer, suddenly lots of doorways open up to you. But if you suddenly think, oh, I'll give it 6 months, I'll give it 5 months, I'll give it a year, that means you're not really committed. It's like walking into a relationship and say, okay, we'll give it a year, we'll get married, but give it a year, see what happens. You were never ever committed. So we went to the US, absolutely dead broke, but we made it a commitment to speak to all of the millionaires there. Dave and I went our way. There was about 30. He talked to some, I talked to some. And then what we realized, that they were just ordinary people like us. Ordinary people with a burning desire. That's what, and a lot of them had been in the situation like us.
It was common, wasn't it?
It was.
If you spoke to the American millionaires, you find a lot of them at that stage had been through exactly the same situation as us, where they'd been slam dunked by circumstances, no fault of their own, and left high and dry. And as Irene said, that was one of the most enlightening things we ever did, was when we went over there, was talk to all those millionaires, because the realisation these guys were just like us, they're just ordinary people, but they had a vision and they had a burning desire to improve their lot in life. And that was a massive difference. And we just learned so much from that, and it just empowered us so much, because obviously, there had been nothing really done in Australia, because this was before it even opened, really. But we just took heart from that, and we knew that if people were doing it there, and we were always of the belief, and still are, that if one person can do something, 10 people can do that. 10 people can do that, 1,000 people can do that. And it needs people to show the way. And we determined ourselves that we were going to be the people that were going to show the way. In amongst those millionaires, there were forklift drivers, there were mechanics, there were air hostesses. Jimmy the butcher, who knows Jimmy? You know who Jimmy is, yeah. He's got to be 93 now, isn't he? 92. Fantastic guy. He's our upline. And we learned a lot from him as well, absolutely great guy. And he was a butcher, but there were lawyers, and there were chiropractors, and there were doctors, and there were professional people as well. And this is what hit us. It didn't matter what that background was. It was how you were focused and what you were prepared to do to get from where you are to where you want to be. And understanding that going from where you are to where you want to be is going to involve a price / pain. That's just how it is. You can't do anything fantastic in the world and achieve fantastic things without having to go through that barrier of saying, okay, it's not going to be easy to become an Isogenics millionaire. There are going to be sacrifices made. There are going to be times when, we have those wall-kicking moments. But we just set upon ourselves that we're going to come back to Australia, and we're going to be the people that shows other people that it can be done. And we were excited to come back. Irene, never mentioned there that, she did mention that we just joined for the product, and that was because of me. I played pretty high-level sport when I was younger, and then suddenly found I was 20 kilos overweight, as I got into my 50s. And you put on half a kilo a year, apparently, when you start to get a little bit older. And that's 5 kilos every 10 years. And I'd managed that. So I'd put on the 20 kilos. And I'd tried everything. Everything I'd tried. I'd tried crazy lettuce leaf diets. I'd tried tons of exercise. I was riding 300 kilometres a week. I was swimming most days. I was walking most days, and nothing was happening. And my doctor said to me, David, you just got to address this weight issue, otherwise you're going to have problems. And so I did, and did it with Isogenics. Just pure coincidental that our paths crossed somebody's who was involved with isogenics, and next thing you know, we're in. And when our business fell over, it really was the only backstop that we had. We didn't have really anything else. And we were earning at that stage, we were earning some money. We were earning like $20 a week, I think it was, or $25 a week on a good week. $22 a week on a good week.
Paper check.
But listen. If we're getting $22, we can earn $220 because the system was working. It was paying us money. If it's paying you money, you know the system works, and from there on in, it's just how you can how you can work that system, and how you can build that and leverage yourself from that $22 a week to $220 a week or $22,000 a week, which was sort of 6 years down the track. So we went into isogenics for that, lost the 20 kilos. So now we've got a story. And the interesting thing, guys, is this was 12 years ago. And today, here we are, 12 years later. Guess what? Nothing has changed. Everything's the same. 80% of people are still overweight. 20% of those are obese. People are still stressed to the max. People have still got all these problems. People can't sleep. People are overweight. People can't shift that weight. People want to get fitter. And these are all just individually, the weight loss and the fitness and all of the others, individually, they're multi-billion-dollar industries. And those are problems that our products are designed to solve. We have those solutions right there in your back office that you can offer to people. So, guys, we're more excited now than we were 12 years ago because of the new products coming on and the Dr. Plant coming on, and we can see massive things happening.
Yeah, it's great job done. When going back to when we went to Celebration, and quite honestly, sitting there, it was just, we had no idea. I had no idea what they were talking about. We were just desperate, and sometimes desperation, you're just waiting. And at the end of the day, I know some of you have seen this little graph over time and money. Carolyn Rodriguez drew this out on, not Carolyn Rodriguez, sorry, it was Luna Payne. And it was on a whiteboard, and she was getting married that afternoon, and she just drew like this here over time and money. So it was like year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. 5 years, that across there, and it's time over money. Your first 2 years, you're going to be learning. It's like a cadetship. You're going to be learning and learning and learning and learning, and you're going to get a little bit of money. See? You just get a little bit. But you've got to put that, you've got to become a professional at a network marketing. And you've got to get 100% passionate about this company and 100% passionate of why you're doing this, what it is. Your why is so powerful when you realize that you can achieve anything that you want in this world before your time is up if you really believe in it. And that's how it started for us. But when we saw this, that's all I needed to know. I just needed, because I'm a visual person. Okay, if I work extremely hard now, at the end of this year, at the end of 2020, I have to be better off. We started here, nothing. We had to be better off if I gave it my all. The next year, we had to be better off if I gave it our all. And unfortunately, most people give up here, year 2, because they think, oh, it's too hard. But look what happens in year 3. But understand that if you, even when you're working in a profession, if you're getting paid $200,000 a year in a job, you have got benchmarks and you've got targets to make for someone else to grow their dream so they can expand. You're going to be late to leave there, first thing in the morning. They're going to own you. On the weekend, if they need you, they will call you in because they're paying you $200,000 a week. And yet for something that, a company that is willing to say, how much do you want? Take what you want. We don't take it seriously. Think about it. How do you show up working in this billion-dollar company? And within that billion-dollar company, we are running our own multi-million-dollar business. But how do we show up? Do we all know all about isagenixbusiness.com? How do we show up? But Dave's going to cover that part. I don't want to go into his, because he's fantastic with figures and facts. But just with your why, you know, when somebody said to one of the first events, you know, what is your why? What is your why? And I remember I was just petrified as the mic was coming around to us. But I had said I'd wanted to open an orphanage. I still have this beautiful vision, but we donate to a lot of existing orphanages anyway. And he said, well, it's not really a why. And I just thought, but it led me to the following weeks just thinking, well, what is my why? What is my why? If that's not a why, what is my why? And seriously, it took a while for me to realize that me as an individual, if I could have experienced anything before my day is up, what I wanted was to own my land in Italy, to have a house in Tuscany, to belong there, not to travel as a tourist in Italy, but actually to belong. And that became the reality. That became a reality. It became fierce and ferocious. Everything was surrounded with this house in Italy that I actually found on the internet. And 5 years into our graft, next time back into Las Vegas. The first time we were dead broke. Next time celebration was in Las Vegas. We were recognized as the first international millionaires outside of North America. And then we bought our house in Tuscany. And we are residents. I have an Italian passport and we're residents, and we spend life there and life here. And we travel and we can run our business wherever we are. Don't take for granted what you are capable of. If you honor and love yourself and have that self-worth, that whatever is in your heart's desire, you will achieve. It would be sad. They say, where are most dreams, goals, and aspirations? They say they're in the graveyard because people never acted on them. Make sure we're none of that. All of us combined. We're not going to let that happen.
Thanks, guys. That is so incredibly inspiring, and your resilience when the times were tough. And personally, I've lost $400,000 in my previous business, and hearing your story, it just inspires me so much, as I do know that watching all the team's face, it does. So that is phenomenal. Thank you, Irene and David. I'd really love to ask, and I'm so sorry my internet dropped out before.
That's fine.
But I'd really love to ask more and dive more into the why. How do you do this, and why is cementing your why so important? So how do you do it with your team, and when you do your goal setting, and I know we had a quick discussion about it earlier in regards to your numbers and really putting those down on paper. Can you run through that for us?
I'll go with the first part, how we go with the team, and then you. So with the why, you know, we all do something for a reason. You go on the program to lose weight for a reason, health reasons, want to feel better, whatever. We all want to earn more money for a reason, whether it's to help our kids, whether, you know, you've got a burning desire, you want to refurbish your house, you want to travel. There's always a reason. And the most important thing is that when you're with your team and when you're with new people in front of you, the most magical thing of all is don't just assume that you know what they want by talking over them and saying, oh, you're going to feel this and then you can earn this. The most important thing is to ask them questions. You know, you might have someone, a very, very large person sitting in front of you, but don't assume that the losing weight for that person is the key thing. Most of the time when you ask somebody, what is it? I always say, what is it about Isagenix that you're looking for? And somebody might say, 9 out of 10 morbidly obese people will say, I do anything for more energy. And you say, okay, let's get started. We can help you with that. Knowing what's going to happen, but you listen to them. And then when you tap into them and just say, people who want to, you know, are talking about getting their product paid for, who want to build a business. So you say, you know, so how much money would make a difference to your life? And what would you do with that money? So that's, oh, you know, if I was earning $2,000 a week or $2,000 a month, whatever it is, you'd say, so what would that look like? What would that enable you to do? Oh, I could pay the credit card off, and oh my gosh, you know, I wouldn't have to worry about the kids' after school activities, stuff like that. And you'd say, so if you were going, so would your husband be happy that you're bringing that into the house as well? Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. It'd give us more free time to go away. So where would you go? Oh, we'd be able to, you know, go on a fantastic family holiday. Where would you go? Oh, you know, the kids have always talked about, you know, Disneyland or something. So what are you seeing? And you just take them on this journey. Can you imagine? Because, you know, children by the age of 4 is when they start getting memories. So you say, how amazing would that be if you could take your children around about that age and, you know, and you're building it. So would you go straight to Disneyland or would you stop off somewhere first? And they start telling you this, they're painting this incredible picture and everyone's excited and everyone's talking about it as though they're just about to board the plane. Now you tap into something that you stir emotion in a person. That person will walk out and will never forget that. And that's why you just say, remember what you said. You know, when they have that banging moments, you say, you know, that person that said they're turning up and they didn't turn up and you're devastated? Are you going to let that person affect the lives of your family for the rest of their lives? That person isn't that important. Let's dust ourselves and move on. She was never meant to be part of your team. Don't take it personally. One of the books that I encourage you to read, you probably have, is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Yeah. That is all about saying, don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. People have got their stuff. Sometimes they're pretty grumpy and stuff because you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. It's not about you. Just send them love and move on. Maybe offer them a bottle of Ionics because they might need it, but then move on. So just be prepared. You're going to get those obstacles, head-banging moments, but you're on a mission and you're just saying, do you know what? I'm going nowhere. Throw all the obstacles in my way. I'll walk over them. I'll go under them. I don't care how exhausted I am because every day we are closer to our why. You stop here and you come back, you still have to go through the same stuff. So you might as well just keep on going. The sooner you get going, the sooner you'll end it. Just get the job done. Yes, you're working hard, but it's not hard work when you're impacting thousands of people's lives. And yes, do you know what? It is so, so worth it. It is so worth it because you're going to work hard no matter where you are for yourself or someone else. Now, over to you, darling.
Okay.
Did that answer that, Sarah?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And I suppose in all of that and in the business that we're in, I mean, the question quite often is, you know, who are we looking for? And who we're looking for is someone who's looking for us. And when I say that, what I mean by that is that there are people out there with all these sort of problems, all these they're overweight, they're unfit, they've got no money, they're too much month at the end of the money, too much stress, not sleeping well, all of these things are out there, all these problems are out there. And as Irene said, you won't find out what that issue is with that person without asking them questions. The most important thing you can do when you're meeting people and you're going to chat with them about isogenics is to ask them questions, find out where they are. And it's just very, very important. And as we embarked on our journey in isogenics, we had to make some decisions, and we had to work out how we were going to do it. Our why was miles bigger than our why not. That was one of the most important things. Our why was massive, and our why not was, well, we can't afford to have a why not. We had to get into it. And when you're talking to people about isogenics and they want to go from where they are, which you guys, you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, if you have a look at that price that you've got to pay to get from where you are to where you want to be, are you prepared to pay that price? And the same with people that you're talking to about isogenics. Is their why, the reason that they want to get from where they are to where they want to be, is that why, that reason big enough to carry them through? If like me, I wanted to lose weight, I had to lose 10 kilos, I ended up losing 20 kilos. So was my why, the doctor had told me I'd be in big trouble if I didn't lose the weight. I didn't want to be sick, so my why was massive. So I saw that through, and I lost the 20 kilos, and which was huge for me and just changed my life. Now, whoever you're speaking to, if their why is not big enough to carry them through, they're not going to make it. And this is why you need to ask them lots of questions. Why is it important to you? What do you want to get from that? What's the main things, the main reasons that you want? Find it all out. Write it down. And that's the same with all goals that you have. If you're putting goals in place, put bigger ones in place, because it takes the same energy to go for a big goal as it does to go for a small goal. And the main challenge in life today is not people setting, big goals and missing. The main challenge is people setting small goals and hitting, and setting for a life of mediocrity. And that's what nobody on this screen, nobody in this meeting wants. We'll want, a life of exuberance and of wealth and of doing the things that we want to do. Isogenics has changed our life. It's changed our children's lives, it's changed our grandchildren's lives, and it's probably changed our great-grandchildren's lives. This has had massive effects on us and our family. And we want to get that through to people and explain to people what that means to us and what this company has meant to us and how they can have exactly the same opportunity. When we talked to all those millionaires, or just ordinary people, so were we. I was a fitter and turner. Irene was a cartographer. We haven't got any degrees or any special skills apart from that. But man, we had a burning desire to succeed and get out of the trouble that we were in, and that was one of the main things for us. Now, when we came into the business, we didn't really have the PIBs and the RABs that we have today. And I think that those are fantastic. And I call them fast start bonuses, where the rank advanced product introductory bonuses, they all give people the opportunity to get in quickly and earn some money. But I think that we've got to be really, really careful that we don't get carried away with the rank advancements and the product introduction bonuses, that we don't get carried away and lose sight of the fact that the binary compensation plan is where the real wealth is. The binary compensation plan is where the money is, guys. That's all we had. When we first came in, we had to get the 300 and 600 to get the 900 to get a cycle. And we had then to plan a way into the future as to build that from 1 to 5 to 10 cycles to 20 cycles to 50 cycles to 100 cycles, and eventually hitting that 250 max out that we did. And so we didn't have anything apart from that to go for. So obviously we went for it. So it's important, guys, that you understand this binary compensation plan, how it works, that you can draw it out for people, that you can explain it to people. And you can say, and this isn't pie in the sky, lots of people have done this. I mean, when we very first started, our initial thing that we did was we sat down and we made a list of 60 people. We pulled together people that we knew that we were going to talk to about isogenics, and we came up with a list of 60. Then we did a really, really important thing that we didn't really know how important it was at the time, but we did it, and that was to write those names down and put a time goal on contacting them all. And that was 30 each. And we sat down and we put a time goal, and the time goal was about 5 days from memory. 5 days?
Yeah.
Something like that. But we put a definite time goal on it. So we're going to contact 30 people each in 5 days. And we just went for it. And we spoke to those people. And guys, this is where your language is really important. It's important today. It was important then. It was important for us. We didn't say to people things like, oh, you know, we're going to give it a go. We're going to see how it works out. We'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. We didn't do any of that bull dust, you know. When we spoke to people, we said, hey, we're so lucky that we've tripped over this. We're so excited. We're gonna make a fortune out of this company. We can just see it. And come and join us, because you're fantastic. We think that you will be fantastic at this. And guess what? Some of them were. Some of them turned into isogenics millionaires. Some of them turned into platinums. That initial 60 that we put in place, it wasn't a 90-day plan, because we didn't really have 90-day plans in those days, but it was pretty much a 90-day plan that we put in place for ourselves and gave us that 90 days, that first 90 days, contacting the 60 people, bringing them in, helping them with their people, starting up the meetings that we had.
It was so funny.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that put in place the business that we have today. And
sorry to interrupt you, darling. I know it's real. You understand that one thing that I think we were so adamant was that we knew Sydney was, you know, far away for us. We never ever expected the company to do anything for us. We never phoned them saying, you know, we want this. We thought, right, we're going to do it. We had our venue, and I know Pete's there, and he used to come and join us. But for 8.5 years, we had every Tuesday night a meeting, and we would be attached to an eatery. So it was what we call the meeting after the meeting, which was the more important meeting. We were very sociable. We are sociable here in Perth, aren't we, Pete? So we'd have the meeting, then we'd go and have something to eat and have a yap till about 11 o'clock. But we formed our own community. So when you said, you know, Sarah, that at the end of last year you got together, that is so important. You have together and you invite the partners and the kids where you don't necessarily talk isogenics, but you learn to, you understand, you find out about each other, and you've got each other's backs. That's how you build a strong army of people that you want to work with. But that's what we did. Sorry, darling.
That's okay. So we've got a couple of minutes left by my calculation, and I'd just quickly like to just expand a little bit on that binary compensation plan. It's important that you know it. It's important that you understand it. It's important that you can explain it to people. It's important that you understand it because you need to use that for your benefit as you're building a team. Now, we're that 60 people that we originally spoke to and split them in half and did it. Those 60 people, they didn't all come on board. Some of them did, some of them didn't. That's fine. But the ones that came on board turned into a business that over these 12 years turned into, I think, 146,000 people have joined us in that 12 years. This works, okay? This is duplication. This is somebody talking to somebody, talking to somebody, talking to somebody. So this binary compensation plan, I've heard people say, oh, you know, I'm going to get one cycle a week, and, you know, they don't understand the power that one cycle has. If you're on one cycle a week, it means that you're getting $60 on that. If people in your team are on one cycle a week, guess what that means? 95% of those people will stay in your business. 95% of people on one cycle stay in the business. Why? Free products. Who's going to give that away? Free products. You can get people to that one cycle, then they will stay, and it'll give them the incentive then to really start talking to people and moving the whole thing forward. That one cycle is worth $60, which is worth $3,000 a year. So just that one little cycle, $3,000 a year. Today, with the interest rates as they are, it would need $100,000 in the bank at 3% to give you the equivalent of that one cycle. It's powerful, guys. And then if you look at 1 star, which is obviously 10 times that, that's 10 cycles. So 10 cycles a week, you multiply everything by 10 times. Oh, one thing I didn't mention with that 1 cycle, if you calculate it as a 40-hour week, then that's giving you $1.50 an hour residual income, right? Doesn't sound like much, but guys, who gets paid residual income? Not many people I know. Virtually nobody I know. You write a song, you write a book, you get residual. It's small, but it's you've got to look at it as a first brick in the wall.
Yes.
First brick in the wall of your business. And if you look 10 times, and that 1 star, by the way, over 300 Australians have achieved that 1 star. So it's not something that not many people can do. Okay, there's hundreds of Australians have done that. So now you're talking $600 a week, which is 31,500, I think it is, or 31,200 a week, which guess what, how much you need in the bank at 3%? $1 million to get that one star, which is, again, that's the first step in the star ratings. So you're going to go 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star, and then eventually on to max the size out. We're talking these are the baby steps. These are the first steps, but they're bricks in the wall. And you're building a business and you're building a wall. You're building a wall of financial security around your family, which is what we did. And these are the first bricks in the wall. So guys, I just wanted to make that point of, it's 1 star, it's on 40-hour week, it's $15 an hour residual.
24 hours a day.
Who gets that?
Yeah.
I don't know who gets that.
Yeah.
So I think we've run out of time, don't we?
Well, seriously, there's one other thing that I think we should say is talk
We've
about...
got more time, so take your time, it's fine.
There's...
if you're willing to stay on, we appreciate it.
There's, we talk about growing wealth.
We love talking about answergenics, so we're happy.
That's it. We talk about growing wealth, and a lot of people, you talk about either people think that by owning a lot of properties is growing wealth, borrowing money. The banks actually own the house, and you've got whether the market is high, whether it's low, your money is going like this. If you can't get tenants in the house, it's always... And, we've had tenants in the past and it's not very nice. Get good ones and you get some that aren't so good. But if you realize that you're actually growing wealth with Isogenics, because when you're a rich executive, you know that you can sell your business. It's sellable. But you have to be executive for X amount of weeks, etc., etc. And when you sell a business that has residual income, say, for example, if you're earning $600 residual a week, then your business is actually worth, on what you did there, how would you calculate it on this?
3 times yearly income.
3 times, so that would be what? 3 times the yearly income of 600 of that.
30,000, $180,000.
It would be worth 100, yeah. $180,000. You could sell your business. And that, when you see that, as you grow your cycles, what is your business worth? Do you see?
And show me another business where your overheads are $200 a month and you eat your overheads.
And they pay you to eat it.
Yeah, and they pay you to eat the overheads.
You've got no staff, no insurances, no liabilities, no business partners, and they've got the back office, your computer, your back office is worth $22 million. They update it every time. They've got more apps to make things. They're always improving the products, never increasing the products, always offering you more bonuses, free trips, everything. And suddenly people just don't take it as if it's a real job.
You know, and guys...
it's interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is to keep check, because on how you do one thing, you do everything. If you're complacent about this opportunity, and be real, you don't have to say, I want to become an Isagenix millionaire. Your goal might be to be earning $500 residual a week, which is huge. It might be $1,000 a week, which is massive. Imagine the holiday you can have at the end of the year with that. Imagine flying first class if that's where you want to be with that. But understand that life is brief. Life is oh too short. Another year before you know it will be gone. So what are you going to do to squeeze the juice out of this life, to really make it matter, to be that step closer to what you want in life, to how you want to share it with your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, like what we've managed to do. And if it wasn't for Isagenix, we'd probably be living with one of our kids by now. Seriously.
Don't tell them that.
What I did after the fact, because we didn't tell the kids what had happened. Nobody knew. Nobody. We just knocked ourselves out because we had to make it work. And I wouldn't, do you know, I am so grateful that it happened the way it did. I'm so grateful to the day that we maxed out. We were building 2 business centres, not with 1 point left over. We never ever cared what was coming from above. We had an opportunity and we just took it and we made it work. And I'm so grateful for all the lessons along the way. If I had to do it again, absolutely, we would do it again. I get so excited for every new person that we talked about because I know the journey ahead. And I know I just want to just watch the highs and lows and ups and downs and just cheer them on every moment of the time because it's oh so worth it. Life is magnificent and you get an opportunity, you get one shot to do it right. And don't leave it too late.
Wow.
Well done.
You can keep going, David.
Well, yeah, I'll finish off on a couple of things which are quite important. The first thing is when we come into Isagenix, we all start off small. Yeah. Just one of us, and in our case, it was originally me, and then it was the 2 of us, and then eventually that grew to 146,000, was it? Mm-hmm. A lot of people. But because you start small doesn't mean that you can't think big. And that's what I was saying before. Think big, put your dreams high, work towards those. It takes the same energy as thinking small. Now, I worked out the other day that as a fitter and turner, to earn the money that we've earned in Isagenix in the past 12 years, I would have had to have worked for 125 years as a fitter and turner to get the same money. And that's obviously, you can't do that. And it occurred to me that what we'd done, we'd compressed 125 years of work down into 12 years using the systems that are provided for us by Isagenix. And that was just like, for me, that was just like amazing that I could do that. The other thing is, remember above all else that this is a business of duplication. So what you do, your team will do. You don't attend these calls, your team won't attend the calls. Don't go to the meetings, don't go to things like, celebration, your team won't go. They will copy, in fact, they'll copy 150% of what you do wrong, then 180% of what you do right, So put that example out there all the time. Be there, be consistent. We started the meetings in Perth and we ran them every Tuesday night for 8.5 years. People in Perth knew every Tuesday at 7:30, hail, rain, shine, wind, whatever, David and Irene would be on the stage giving them a professional message about isogenics and what it could do for their lives and for their family. Be consistent in what you do and do that. Be the leader that you would want to be leading you, is basically what it comes down to. And thank you guys. Wow.
Thank you.
I just
congratulate you guys also. I just see that you've been awarded the Top Achievers trip as well. So congratulations. So off to Whistler, another phenomenal tick. And, after all these years, you're still qualifying for those trips. So that's just phenomenal. It's a real asset to you guys. And then Louisa wanted to jump in. Are you there, Louisa?
Louisa. Yeah, Louisa needs to be unmuted.
Hi, how are you, David? Oh, so good to see you both, and it's so good to have both of you here tonight. Thank you so much for making the time. I won't take too long, but I just had a quick chat to Rachel before she jumped in, and she asked me to just get on and just reiterate again how very grateful she is for tonight. She was telling me what an inspiration the two of you have been to her, not just in isogenics, but as people. And she really looks to you guys as mentors. And she shared about some of the conversations that you've had with her, Irene. I think she said you would remember on a bus or something. Yeah. And she said that she'll never forget that. And that was a pivotal time in her business. And so she just wanted me to get on and once again, from her heart, just send a huge thank you because she's just so, so grateful. She knows that what you've shared tonight is real and it's from your heart and it's authentic. And it's something that we can all take on and be inspired by, and we can take it into our business and we can use your story as an inspiration with others. So she was just so, so grateful to actually get you guys on a call. Like she was saying to me, she's to have you on one of our calls for years and years and years, and it finally happened, and it happened the one night when she wouldn't be here. So she just really wanted to let you guys know that she loves you and she is so grateful for your time tonight, and she knows that the way you put it into us tonight, we're going to be better for it. And we are super, super grateful. So thanks again on behalf of Rachel and our whole team. I know every one of us, I'm sure, have been inspired.
Great to see you guys.
The chat's been going, great guns. If you didn't notice that tonight, Irene and David, but we've been chatting because you've just been inspiring us so much. We've been reiterating the gold nuggets that we're hearing from you and all of the tips. And so thank you. We're really grateful.
Thank you. We'll message Rachel. We love her. And it's, just make it matter. Tonight, before you go to bed, put it in your diary exactly what you're going to do tomorrow, but put it in your diary how you're going to spend the rest of the year. This is our little book, and every New Year's Day we enter it in and we talk about the incredible year. And we started doing that right at the beginning when we started in this book, and it just started, this is the year when we will be Australia's first millionaires, and it was. Wow. Honestly, put everything down, leave it out there, and talk in the present when you do it. Like this year was Good Morning 2020. You look so good. It seems like we've been waiting for you for a long while. And talk about it as though you're right there in the moment, talking to the universe and just loving the journey of the year. But make it matter. Make it matter.
I love that. Thank you so much, Irene, because you don't know what we've been talking about the last few weeks, but Rachel has been sharing on vision. And she's been talking to us a lot about our vision and understanding our why. And I just think it's so amazing that, you know, you've just spoken about that, making it really clear. It's just incredible the way God moves, the way that he would have this one clear, you know, direction for us to really concentrate on our vision, not just from our leader, Rachel, but then you've reiterated it again tonight. So thank you so much. It's great when we all come from the same heart and the same perspective. It's so good.
Can we get a team free thank you?
Yes, definitely.
Can we do it?
What's this?
I don't know. I'm doing it anyway.
What's this?
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much to you both. We've got so many takeaways and really appreciate you jumping on the call.
It was a real pleasure. Anytime. Call on us anytime.
All right. See you guys.
We just want to help you guys.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye, Pete.